Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. For the censors, we always tell you that we absolutely stay within community guidelines at the New Health Conversation. We only quote from medical proof that's in the public record so everybody can view it. That way we're not making any claims. It's all original content. We've written 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world, conducted over 20 shows on PBS. We're original researchers, and everything we provide is our original research. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand we stay within community guidelines because we don't make claims, and everything that we show to the audience, they're able to see and find on their own. So hello, Sarah, hello, Renee, hello, JK, Randy. So look at that, 35 pounds in 37 days. What do you all think about that? Number one, is it the same woman? Is it a different woman? Did we change people on you? This is the most incredible breakthrough probably in the history, well, certainly of weight loss, over 100 years. This represents 40 years of research, over 100 studies, thousands of people. They tried every diet out there and came up with this new incredible protocol where men and women are losing as much weight in a week as in 2 months of any diet any of you have ever been on. And the other key part of this is no one was allowed to exercise in these studies. Not that they're against exercise if you want to do it outside of the studies, but also they proved that people lost no water weight and instead of losing any lean muscle, gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Now, I'm sure that all of you are very curious about how in the world did she do that? But even more important than that, if you look right above her head there in blue, the New Health Conversation. That's a free medical website. Make sure you put the on the front, the New Health Conversation. If you go there, it's only the medical proof. There's no, we don't have to make claims because everything is on their medical website. You'll notice above that, it says free coaching to ensure your success. The coaching is 100% free. It's not a gimmick. It's not a trick. We really do this. We were all coached. And if any of you, if you're really serious about losing weight, or you can look at Kristen here, 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in 30 days. This is not Photoshop. This is real. It's not Photoshopped in any way. And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine. How about 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody? 60 pounds in 3 months. Has anyone ever seen anything like this? Well, the researchers had. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's totally different. Let me show you over here. Now, you hear you get older, it's much harder to lose weight. Well, this is an older gentleman. Look at this, 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in just 30 days. 40 pounds, that's 10 pounds a week. But you know what? That's not even the best part of his story. Look at his A1C. It went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides from 242 to 124. That's in 30 days with no exercise. Now, the reason that the researchers didn't want people to exercise, otherwise you would have thought that it was it was diet and exercise why they lost the weight. So they didn't let them exercise. But let me be clear. You can certainly exercise. You can go over that with your coach. Now, why do we have coaches? Because number one, we don't know anything about you. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 doing this. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have kidney transplant, no gallbladder. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical or curing any medical diseases. So let's be clear about that. That's not what we're doing. What we're sharing with you is this unbelievable peer-reviewed the studies showing you, right? And if you go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation, boom, first one, there's the website. The only thing on that website is the free medical proof. There's nothing to buy there. You can't buy. But if you like what you see, you can scroll down and you can get a free coach that'll show you everything that I'm going to show you just in about 2 seconds here. So let's come back because I know probably a lot of you are curious as far as what Watchman, I think you were on yesterday, as a matter of fact. Hello. First, Mr. Charlie. Hello. Welcome, everybody. And can we get some taps on the screen to get some loves, some likes? We're at 0 now. Let's get some likes going, everybody. So I'm just about ready to share with everybody how in the world did she do this. Now, I want to emphasize again, no exercise. This was invented. It's not a diet. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. And what they were able to do after 100 studies, 40 years of research, they figured out first why diets are miserable failures. Do you know in all that time that 2/3 of the people, after 100 studies, thousands of people, 2/3 of all the people on all the diets they ever analyzed gained more weight than they lost? We have more up-to-date information right now. I've got peer-reviewed human trial studies where they're saying the same exact thing. So they they really became frustrated and said, look, we need to abandon traditional diets and see if we can come up with something else. So what they did, that's how they invented this. So let me give you some facts. First of all, does anyone know the actual medical definition of a calorie? In a year's time, doing 3 or 4 podcasts a day, I've had now 8 people that have gotten the definition correct. You're all counting calories. Why? Why are you counting calories? Because your body has no idea what a calorie is. Why you be counting calories? I have no idea. So let's put that aside. So the researchers said they've known for a long time there's only one thing that matters in your body, for your body, in order what your body needs in order to run all your organs, and that's nutrition. So here's why diets fail. You go on a diet, you reduce the amount of food you're consuming. What else are you lowering? Nutrition. When you do that, and there's not enough nutrition to run all your organs, your brain goes in starvation mode, stops you from burning the energy in your fat cell, and turns to your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's what it does, and also slowing down your own immune system. So the reason that you plateau ultimately on diets is because you've lost lean muscle and your body's ability is hampered in terms of you being able to maintain your input and output, okay? So the researchers, what they did, they said we need to base this on a completely new approach. And what the researchers did, they picked foods that had higher levels of nutrition, still lower quantities. And what were these foods? Only 30% of what she consumed. So if you took whatever you bought last month at the grocery store, only take 30% of it this month to buy proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they gave you serving sizes. So the serving sizes were smaller. That's how come you can get by with only 30%. But the real secret to this, the real secret was these researchers who have there is no product here, by the way. You're not buying any products, you're buying food. And the other food you would buy is from these other researchers who had spent 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrients, but not large amounts of food. So now they had the 2 groups of food, 30% from the grocery store and 70% from these exotic foods around the world. Then they invented, 2 new ways of consuming food. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. That's called protein pacing. Pause for a moment. The word pacing is critical. What the researchers found, it was critically important, for example, that she had 4 meals over the course of like 8-10 hours spread out. So it wasn't like 2 meals with all the nutrition. So the same amount of nutrition spread out over 8-10 hours was what made this so effective. That's called protein pacing, which is actually patented, U.S. Patent Office. Secondly, 2 days a week out of 7, she did something on intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. Don't hear the word fasting. This is not fasting. This is nutritional fasting. Those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating about every hour and a half. And that was critical to balance out that nutrition over, in that case, over 10 or 12 hours. Nobody was hungry. We have people who weigh 500 pounds that are doing this. They're not hungry. See, because they were never hungry for calories. What they were hungry for was nutrition. So what the researchers do was give people massive amounts of nutrition in less quantities of food. That's why it worked. Now the key to this is maintenance. It's not a question, can you lose the weight? That's like a no-brainer. That's like falling off a log. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And the point being that we're now in a position where we know with these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, it's completely safe. It's 100% safe. This is the only protocol in the world, weight loss, nutrition, health, with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies published in PubMed, which is the biggest kind of library for all scientific papers in the world. This is a huge deal. Nobody else, not keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time restricted eating, fasting, a Cornish diet, zone diet, lose weight for your blood type, Jenny Craig Weight Watchers, none of them have 10, well, they don't even have one, for the most part, peer-reviewed human trial study. Now, why is a human trial study such a big deal? Because what happens when you do your experiment and submit it to the journals, they send it out. They don't analyze your research. They send it out to other world-class experts, medical doctors and researchers who have one job. And you know what their job is? To discredit what you're proving. That's why the people you're following that are giving you all these claims, if what they had was real, they'd give you peer-reviewed human trial studies. But you're falling for it. They're telling you things like on time-restricted eating, you can lose 20 pounds in a month, and a big part is fat. That's a complete lie. You do not lose fat. You're born with a certain number of fat. You die with a certain number of fat. No amount of exercise, diet has ever gotten rid of fat. The only way you lose fat is liposuction or surgery. So right away, that's a huge lie. And then when you look at the real research on something like time-restricted eating, where you don't eat for 16 hours, eat for 8, listen to this. This is the Journal of the American Medical Association, a 3-month study. They said, the Journal of the American Medical Association, new research found that overweight adults who were routinely fasting 16 hours daily over the course of 3 months, I'm reading from the study, over the course of 3 months, gained almost no benefit from it. They lost an average of 2 to 3.5 pounds, and most of the weight they shed was not body fat, but lean muscle mass. This is a medical journal analyzing, not somebody getting nice people. I don't want to disparage anybody, but it's a bunch of bull. It's a bunch of bull. And this is the problem. That's why we have right now a projection from Johns Hopkins Medical School. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound like to any of you that diets are actually working? You're all on diets, counting calories. Well, let me let you in on the news. Your body has no idea what a calorie even is. Your body only cares about nutrition. Like I said before, on all these diets, as you lower the amount of food you're consuming, which is what you're doing, you're lowering nutrition. And when you do that, your brain figures out you're starving to death from a nutritional standpoint of view, shuts down fat, accessing the energy inside your fat cell, and shuts that down and turns to your muscles for fuel. That's why, look, I know all of you are plateauing. All of you are on here because you're saying, what's new, what can I do, et cetera. It's not working. I mean, go to the beach. Look at America now. Go to the beach and look at America. It's really sad because, again, it's not that people don't want to lose weight. My gosh, they're going out of their way. They're doing the shot. They're doing all kinds of things. But the methodology is wrong. And it's not because me, Peter Greenlaw, because I say so. Because we got Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. Here's what they said. Most people have been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. They go on to say, the idea of a calorie in and a calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what these researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard. The results you're seeing have never been seen before. I mean, imagine she's averaging 5 pounds. She only had like 35 pounds to lose. She's averaging 5 pounds a week. How many of you get excited when you lose a pound a week? And you're torturing yourself and you're miserable and you don't have any energy and you're starving to death. You are starving to death because your body, you're now depriving your body of the little bit of nutrition that's still left in our food in North America. Do you know our food in North America is becoming all but nutritionally bankrupt? Let me give you one example. A bowl of spinach, Cornell University analyzed the iron levels in spinach. From 1953 to about 2020, they said the iron levels in spinach had decreased by 4,300%. In layman's terms, a bowl of spinach in 1953 today beats somewhere between 20 and 30 bowls of spinach you have to eat to equal the same nutrition. This is our problem. We keep consuming these large quantities of food seeking more nutrition. Did you ever notice why you're just not full anymore? Have any of you ever been to Europe? You go to Europe and they give you like a third of the size on your plate for dinner, and you're full somehow. You're not hungry because it's based on nutrition. It's not based on quantities. You all have an amazing opportunity to change the rest of your lives if that's what you want to do. How were these good results achieved? Okay. Would you say that's a good result, or would you say that's an extraordinary result? 21 pounds and 38 inches. If that's not extraordinary, how about this one? How about 60 pounds in 3 months? An average of 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. I'm going to explain to you right now what they did. So first, to address this for you, Silver Spring, It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. And the people who invented it are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. And they figured out here's why all the diets are miserable failures. I'm not sure what diet you're on, what you've been on, what you're thinking about going on. They're all miserable failures. Now all the evidence says 2/3 of everybody on every diet ever is gaining more weight than they lost. The problem is this, what the researchers did. They said the fallacy is that all the diets we analyzed, they'd done 100 studies, 40 years, and figured out why diets didn't work, and it was simple. It had nothing to do with counting calories. It had to do with the fact that your body needs a minimum amount of nutrition in order to run all your organs. When you go on a diet, you lower the amount of food, you lower the amount of nutrition, it triggers the starvation mode in the brain, and the brain begins to turn your muscles into fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you gain all the weight back. Simple version. Now let's keep going. The researchers said, all right, we believe the secret would be if we can find foods with higher levels of nutrition, called nutritional density, then that would be the ticket. So they set out to do that. They put a grocery list together for her or for you, for everybody. Only 30% though of the food, like let's say whatever you spent on food last month, take about 30% of that for this month. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calories, they're going to give you serving sizes. Because remember, the goal was the amount of nutrition, not the amount of food, right? So the other 70% of what you would consume, Silver Spring, doesn't come from the United States. It comes from other researchers who've gone around the world to places like Russia, China, Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, defining food groups and nutrients in large quantities, but small amounts of food. That's what they had. So 30% was going to come from the grocery store, and 70% was coming from these exotic foods around the world. Then they invented 2 new ways of consuming the food, Silver Spring. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner of these exotic foods. Now here's something else that was different. This is called protein pacing. And what mattered, they found, the researchers, it mattered. So example, if you took the same amount of nutrition and say you had 2 meals a day, it didn't work. What worked was spreading the nutrition out over about 8 or 10 hours from breakfast until the 4th meal after dinner. Okay, so 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, protein pacing. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not anything to do with time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time she had them 8 times a day. She was eating like every hour and a half. Nobody was hungry. We have people doing this, weigh 500 pounds, they're not hungry, because they were never hungry for calories. The human body doesn't even know what a calorie is. What it was hungry for was nutrition. And once their brain realized there was enough nutrition, it literally took the hunger away. They proved that in a month, people's hunger went down 41%. Also in a month, blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came crashing down. And here was the big one that we all suffer from, inflammation, Silver Spring. It went down 25% in a month. No diet has ever touched anything like this. None, zero, no diet ever until now. And you have to understand, I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years, wrote 4 best-selling books, 20 shows on PBS, and 1,500 live lectures in universities and hospitals in the United States, Canada. They even flew me to China. But for 22 of my 23 years in the medical world, all of this, you know what it meant in the medical world? Zero. Why? Because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. Now we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies in the biggest medical journals in the world. This is amazing. So number one, it's safe. Number two, you don't have any worry that it's not going to work. I should tell you this. So 70% of the food you would buy, those researchers, in the first 30 days, they'll give you all your money back. As a matter of fact, if you go to the website, The New Health Conversation, and we won't contact you if you go there, but if you, then above that, free coaching. If you like what you see, you get a free coach. And it says right there, 100% money back guarantee on 70% of the food, because the 30% obviously you're buying from the grocery store, they're not going to give you a refund. So there's no risk for you. This is like, why wouldn't you try it? Why wouldn't you do it? No, Silver Spring. Good, I'm glad you brought that up. Silver Spring, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise allowed. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they didn't. Now let me show you an athlete working out what happens to their muscle structure when they do this. This is 11 days. Wait till you see this. Okay, so day 1, Silver Spring, look at the waist area. Pretty darn good. Now when I says day 5, that's the morning of day 5. So it was 4 days. And then look at day 12, the morning of day 12. So it's 11 days. Look at that transformation. Are they building? Look at the muscle they're building. Now, that's a person who surfs twice a day and is working out 6 or 7 days a week. Does that make sense now, Silver Spring? Do you see? Now, you might say that's Photoshop, but I know this person. That's my youngest son. He's 42 years old. Look at that transformation at 42 years of age. Now, remember, he was working out every day. So the only thing he changed was doing this protocol in 11 days. Is that unbelievable, everybody, or what? Is that cool? Hello, Beatrice. Hello, Joseph. Hello, Kathleen. Silver Spring. Very good. Great. So Silver Spring, do you understand? Put the yes. You can, the website to go to, it's free right there, the New Health Conversation. Everything there is free. We won't contact you. If you like what you see, scroll down and you get a free coach that'll go over all of you, whatever you want to do. Oh, no problem, Carrie. And Bills? Bills? Yeah, I think it's Bills. Okay. All right. So I'm going to explain it to you now. And again, please, Carrie, be a little patient. This is not some simple answer. Okay. So the researchers it's important you understand who invented this, not me. I had nothing to do with that. But it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition researchers in the world for more than 40 years, considered the top people. They'd done 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet out there, and figured out here's why diets can't work. A diet has nothing to do with counting calories. As a matter of fact, the human body has no idea what a calorie is. The only thing your body works on is one principle to keep us alive, and that's a minimum amount of nutrition. What the problem with diets, when you go on them, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. And what that does, it triggers in your brain starvation mode, and your brain will then stop you accessing fuel from your fat cells and turn to your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you plateau and gain all the weight back. That's why all these diets fail. Worse, they're now saying 2/3 of all people going on diets gain more weight than they lost. So the researchers knew this, and they said, okay, we need to do something different. And the different part was they said, we're going to concentrate on nutrition. We're going to find foods with higher levels of nutrition, period. So they set out, and so if you took what you spent on your grocery bill last month, just picture 30% of it, you'd go to your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, what they did, they gave people serving sizes. Because remember, the thing that was most important to them was how much nutrition were you getting. But only 30% of what you consume. The other 70% came, Carrie, from other researchers who had gone for the last 20 years around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, and found foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food by bulk, let's say, right? So they had the ingredients now, right? 30% from the grocery store, and the other 70% you'd buy directly from those suppliers. By the way, you do. You don't buy anything from us, and you don't buy anything from the researchers who started this. They don't have a company. There's no products. It's food. But here was the next part. The next part, and this is what the researchers did. They had two complete new ways of eating, if you can believe it. So 5 days a week, you actually would have 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods. That's breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods. It was called protein pacing. Again, Carrie, be patient, but I want to explain to you why this is so effective. What they figured out was it mattered how you spread nutrition out. So for example, when they gave people all the nutrition in 2 meals, it didn't work. When they spread it out in 4 meals, it was magic, okay? So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. Those days, she was fasting with nutrition. How did they do it? No food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. People weren't hungry. We have people weigh 500 pounds. They did this. They weren't hungry. Now, also, it's stunning. In a month's time, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise allowed. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. But that's not even the best part of it. The best part is maintenance. That picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. We teach you how to maintain. What's maintenance? Every morning, you get the exotic foods for breakfast, a lunch and dinner, and then maybe every couple months, do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Once you get to your goal, for example, like Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at that change in her body composition, Carrie. Is that unbelievable? Look at her waist, look at her legs. It's not Photoshop, that's absolutely real. There's nothing like this on the planet. You can do whatever diet you want. It'll never even come close to this. And then when we look at someone like my friend's daughter, my goodness, 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her stomach. That's not Photoshop. That's absolutely real. Most people say, oh, it's a different woman. No, it's not. Oh, she's different height. It's two different rooms where the pictures were taken. I mean, come on. I guess you could think we lied, and it's my friend's daughter. We don't need to Photoshop anything, okay? And then look at Curtis, an older gentleman you hear all the time. You can't lose weight when you get older. How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month? Right? How about that? Is that unbelievable? So 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month. I'd say that's pretty remarkable, wouldn't you? Let's see. Amazing. Explain the protocol. Okay, thanks. That's O time true. Noah or OT true. You're wrong. What am I wrong about, Noah? So please tell me what I'm wrong about. It's about your No, it's not, Noah. That's total crap. Counting macros, total nonsense. Not one shred of evidence, not one peer-reviewed human trial, not one. Zero studies proving it. It's total nonsense. Complete garbage. You trying to tell me on macros, some people losing 40 pounds and 52 inches? Not happening, Noah. Do whatever you want to do, but macros is just another diet. It's nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Where the hell are you going to get the food with these nutrients that don't exist even in North America in organic foods? Don't tell me that. You can't produce anything like this. I love it when people come on and give opinions. Thank you. Where's your peer-reviewed human trial studies? Show them to me. You don't have any. The macros and calories. No, it's... Oh, really? Noah, what's the definition of a calorie? I'll wait. Give me the medical definition of a calorie. What's a calorie? T, I'm going to explain it to you in just a moment, okay? I'm waiting, Noah. What's the definition of a calorie? We'll come back to that, everybody, but I'm going to tell you right now. See, here's what happens. People come on, they want to give opinions, and there's no peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Without those, it's crap. It's nonsense. It means nothing. And I can say it because for 22 years, we didn't have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. He's talking about counting calories. I mean, here's Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion and concentrate what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. Nothing about macros. Nonsense, just rubbish. Or here's Medicare, okay? Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The authors in Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets and diets in general to assess whether any diet is effective treatment for obesity. The studies showed that 2/3 of people on any diet gained more weight than they lost. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Total nonsense. Counting calories, macros, total nonsense. Bye. See ya. Craziness. Craziness. So, T, let's talk about this now. I get really excited because it's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. Okay, Rosary, sorry. What the researchers figured out was real simple. The human body has no idea what a calorie even is. You're seeing, I still don't have a definition of a calorie because a calorie means nothing to the body. So counting calories or macros is total nonsense. The only thing your body cares about is nutrition. And the nutrition is what runs all your organs in your body. When you go on a diet and you lower the amount of food you're consuming, you're lowering the amount of nutrition. It's that simple. In every diet they're studying now that 2/3, that 25 to 40% of what you're losing, including counting macros, including all these diets, is your lean muscle mass, which slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau and all these diets don't work. So the researchers, what did they do? They said, we need to come up with a new plan. We're going to go find foods with huge amounts of nutrition and not huge amounts of quantity. Nothing to do with macros. Do with a broad cross-section of nutrients that we all need, that's basically in North America, our foods. See, that's the problem with some argument like that. Our food in North America is all but nutritionally bankrupt. You take a bowl of spinach from 1953 to 2020, Cornell University measured the iron levels in spinach. It's decreased by 4,300%. So how are you going to make this work? The researchers knew this, so they picked some foods from North America that had higher levels of nutrition: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, okay? But they gave, instead of giving calorie counts, because calories mean nothing, they gave them serving sizes. Very important. Only 30% of the food they consumed. The other 70% came, and see, this is where something like macros or calories is complete rubbish. Other researchers who'd gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where there were foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. And some of the nutrients that don't exist in macros or in whatever, actually are from areas of the world that these nutrients don't even exist in North America. So it's not something like you do it. And there are also ingredients where people live to be 100 years old. So now they have the food groups, right? So now what they do, they have to put together eating plans based on these new food groups. So 5 days a week, they had 4 meals a day. They started, now they're not counting calories. You got to understand. It's all about the serving sizes. Breakfast, these exotic foods around the world, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these highly dense foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, okay? So that's 5 days a week. But the other thing they found that was really incredible, it was called protein pacing, which is patented by the way, U.S. Patent Office. And the key was, on the 5 days we having 4 meals a day, it was important that they were spaced out over about 8 or 10 hours, okay? And you get all that for free. You get free coaching, okay? Now, the other 70% of the food you consume doesn't come from the United States. It comes from these exotic sources from around the world. On those days, 2 days out of 7, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store at all, macros, whatever, none of that nonsense. Only these exotic foods around the world. But this time you eat them 8 times a day. 8 times a day. So she was eating about every hour and a half. Look at the results. We had people who weigh 500 pounds and not hungry. Also, in a month's time, she lost no water weight because they measured it. And instead of losing any lean muscle, which is the case on all these stupid diets, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. And what we have is the proof. We have medical proof. We don't have opinions, hyperboles, etc. This is going to change the world. This makes every diet. If you go to the website, there's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Let him explain to you why all these diets, macros, none of them work long term. They did 40 years of study, for crying out loud. They did all these variations. None of them ever worked long term. I mean, it's crazy where we are. We're telling people to do things where there's no proof behind it. It's an opinion. But without a peer-reviewed human trial study, it doesn't mean anything in the medical world. I know. I saw it. But how excited would any of you be if you could lose 5 pounds a week with no exercise and then gain 6 to 9% lean muscle mass? That's what's available to you. You can go to the website. It's free, the New Health Conversation. We won't contact you if you go there. But if you go there, it's free coaching, no kidding. Oh, I forgot the best part. So the 70% of the money you'd spend, you buy from them, not from us. Those researchers give you 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. Try to do that on any of these other diets. There's no comparison. It's almost like silly. It's almost a joke. But Angelique, you think this is harsh measures? You want to see an athlete, what happens to an athlete if they do this? Look at this in 11 days. You trying to tell me anything you're doing produces that? Look at the muscles in the stomach in 11 days. Look at that that's with exercise, with this protocol. This person didn't do this to lose weight. I hope you're not commenting about this because you don't even know what it is. But look at that, everybody. Look at that change in just 11 days. It's not a diet. But here's something else that completely turns any diet into total rubbish, which it is. Unless you know it or not, you're all suffering, including my good friends promoting macros and all that nonsense. We're all suffering from this new medical syndrome called TDOS. T is for toxins, the D is for nutritional deficiency, the O for being overweight, and the S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Oh, Peter Greenlaw. Oh, that is me. I did discover it. And it's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. What it means is you're drinking, you're breathing, you're eating chemicals. And as they enter our body, the body's taking the chemical and stuffing it in your visceral fat, whether you knew it or not. If you look at her stomach on day 1, that's the bloating being caused by the chemicals As the body forces the chemical into the fat cell to save us, basically, the fat cell expands. See, you can't burn fat. That's total nonsense. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, but your fat cells can expand or contract. Well, look at from day 1 to day 30. You think that would happen on a diet? And that's without exercise. There's nothing on there. There's nothing in the world like this ever. It's available in Mexico. Absolutely, Rosario. It's absolutely available in Mexico. Yield plan. Why is eating so addictive? Because you're never full, because you're getting calories with no nutrition. Well, you don't even get, see, here's the problem. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. So let's put that aside. What you're missing is nutrition. And the reason you can't ever be full, and the reason food's so addictive, they've used sugar instead of, oh, I'll tell you this is a good one. Okay, they've used sugar, the manufacturers, instead of nutrition. Harvard University did a study comparing sugar to cocaine. They found that sugar was 6 to 8 times more addictive than cocaine. That's why you can't stop eating. Oh, wonderful, Elena. Let's see, how much is the system? Rosario, you're probably going to spend about what you spent last month on food for the whole month. And also, if you do there, it sounds like you speak English, but we definitely have coaches who are fluent in Spanish, and we'd have them go over all that with you. To be honest, I'm not quite sure of the exact prices in Mexico, but most people feel it's about what you're spending on food in a month now. That's all I can tell you. What's the website, please, Rosario? Right there above her head in blue. See it? The new. Make sure it's the new, everybody. The new health conversation. That's where you can go to see it for free. Yay. She's saying yay. Let's see. What's the website, please? I did that. Elena. On your live days ago. Looking forward. Bob's he's one of the top coaches. I'll tell you that right now. And he'll tell you the story. Ask him about how skeptical and belligerent he was more than 20 years ago, because I coached him, unfortunately. No, he's a great, great person. You have a terrific coach. A lot of it's in there, but here's the thing, and Higgy, I wasn't trying to get you to buy my books, okay? I would say of all my books, this one is probably the one that a lot of people like reading because it's really groundbreaking. I was the one that discovered this medical syndrome. But the reason we did the website, to be quite honest with you, Higgy, is the research is coming out so fast and furious that I couldn't edit my books fast enough. So the general concepts are in there, but the real, and again, we didn't have the peer-reviewed human trial studies when I wrote the books, to be quite honest with you. We didn't have them. So thank you for the order, but really that website, and here, this is all you do. You go to Google, type in the new health conversation. First thing on Google, boom, there's the website. There's nothing to buy. The only thing there is the medical proof for all of you to see, period. And like I keep saying, that the coaching, not only is it free, but 70% of what you would spend your money on, they'll give you 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. If it doesn't work, you didn't like the taste, it doesn't matter. We're not ripping people. We don't sell anything. You're not buying any products. There's no products. You're buying food. And again, my good friend just joined in, Burn Dog. Hello. So Burn Dog, would you like to know how she lost 20 pounds? It's not intermittent fasting. It's intermittent nutritional fasting, just to be clear for you. Rosario, intermittent nutritional fasting, not intermittent fasting. Totally two completely different things. Intermittent fasting is based not, you fast for 16 hours and eat for 8. That's not what this is. Okay? So Burn Dog, you're saying, yes, you want me to explain it to you? I'm just curious. Okay. So Burn Dog, first of all, what do you think about, how excited would you be if you could lose 20 pounds in a month with no exercise? Tell me that first while I take a quick drink of water over here. I think that's thumbs up. I see that, Burn Dog. That's funny. Okay. So Burn Dog, let's talk about how this came about. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, who for 40 years had done 100 studies, thousands of people, analyzing every diet out there from carb recycling to count your macros to Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Paleo, Keto, Mediterranean, time restricted eating, the Zone diet, the Atkins diet, lose weight for your blood type. You get the picture? Good, Rosario. I hope you do try it. So Burn Dog. So the researchers, after 40 years, decided, well, here's what they found. That every person lost weight. Okay, that sounds good. But 2/3 of all the people ended up weighing more than when they started on any diet that they ever analyzed. Secondly, on every diet they analyzed, the weight loss that people was occurring was 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass. So let's say you lost 20 pounds. 5 to 8 pounds of the 20 was your lean muscle mass, which slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau on these diets, and then you come off and you wonder why you gain all the weight back. Well, because you have a compromised metabolism. But also, Burn Dog, what it's doing to you that you probably don't know by these stupid diets, including all this macro, it's all nonsense, okay? Just nonsense. You're also slowing down your immune system because you don't have enough nutrition to prevent your brain from turning your muscles into fuel. Got it? All right, so the researchers said we need to create a new way of eating using new combinations of food. They picked the foods. They're the top nutrition people in the world. Not somebody giving you an opinion, okay? A dietitian, with all due respect, they're not in this league. Because not only are these the top weight loss nutrition, but they're physiologists, meaning they study the nutrients once they enter the body, okay? So they developed a food list that you would get, Burn Dog, but only 30% of what you would purchase, that say you purchased last month from your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, they give you serving sizes. Very important, because what they were looking for was to give you more nutrition, but still keep the quantities low. So they picked the foods and you get them. You get a list. You literally take it to the grocery store, but only 30% of what you're going to spend. The other 70%, which made this work, the researchers realized that food in North America, even when it's organic, is becoming almost nutritionally bankrupt. It's nutritionally insufficient. That's why they limited the amount of food these people ate to only 30%. The other 70% came from these other researchers who, Burn Dog, for 20 years had gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. So now they had the foods. Then they invented 2 new ways of you consuming food. 5 days a week, you would have, like she did, 4 meals a day, starting with his exotic foods in the morning, lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery, and a 4th meal after dinner. So you're eating 4 times a day. No one's hungry because they're getting enough nutrition. That's why someone was saying, how come foods are so addictive? Because they're so nutritionally inadequate. Now, 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Now, the other part of this is called protein pacing. Excuse me. Protein pacing meant the food was spread out over about 8 or 10 hours. That's why it was very important that they did that. Then 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent, don't get spun out when I tell you this, intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate them 8 times a day. So she was getting very small quantities of food that was allowing her to essentially fast, but enough nutrition that she never got her muscles involved. Look at the results. 5 pounds a week, 38 inches. Now, the thing I want you to pay attention to, look at her waist, okay? Her waist with no exercise, looking from day 1 to day 30. Now, why did that occur? Because the other part you need to be aware of, we're all suffering from this medical syndrome called TDOS. T for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. Peter Greenlaw, oh, that does happen to me. I discovered this. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office saying that we're ingesting chemicals in our food, air, and water. When they're entering the body to protect us from the chemicals is taking them and stuffing them inside fat cells. That's the bloating you're seeing on our stomach. Well, these studies, unlike macros or any of this nonsense, has never been proven to remove a gram of a toxin from the body. This stuff, they got proof in blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. It's removing herbicides, pesticides, Scotchgard, Teflon, flame retardants from your body. That's why she shrank. By the way, she was not allowed to exercise. None of these people were allowed to exercise. Not that the research is against exercise, of course not, because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, you'd say to them, oh, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. No exercise at all. And the key to this, next, is maintenance. The key is that picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. Maintenance, here's how simple it is. You have one meal a day, these exotic foods around the world. It's your breakfast every day. 2 normal meals, and then maybe every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast to help with the toxins that are going to keep building up in your body if you do nothing about it. This is a detox, and what we have is the medical proof proving it's detoxing. See, there's the failing of all this other nonsense that I hear when people come on, like, macro counting and calorie counting and, Jenny Craig and weight. None of them are no, that's not. Now, you don't have to believe me. I'm going to read from PubMed, which is the main library of all medical studies. And see, people are making all these claims about this stuff. Listen to what PubMed said. As of June 15, 2025, there are no irrefutable peer-reviewed human trial studies on PubMed or elsewhere that broadly substantiate the claims of commercial detox products for toxin removal, weight loss, or health promotion. None. We have 10. We have 10. They don't even submit them, so they're not even posted. These 10 are there, done by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, in the biggest medical. Well, there's one here in Nature Communications. It had nothing to do with weight loss. It's totally about your gut. Let me read the headline, the title. Gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves drastically in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting. This is not a diet, everybody. This is about your health, and I'll prove it to you. Yes, of course, Silver Spring, you are. And again, you lost 5 pounds. How long did it take you? Please fill me in. And tired, do this. The cost, figure whatever you spent last month on groceries, you're going to spend about the same this month, but only 30% at your grocery store and 70%. So I'm very curious here, Silver Spring, because someone's trying to argue with me about macros. So you lost 5 pounds. How long did it take? And you're definitely weaker. Of course you are, because you're nutritionally deficient. That's why these people that come on and say this stuff, it's rubbish. I live in Denver, Colorado, Rosario, Denver. And tired of this. Okay, so that makes sense. You're tired of this. You're going to spend about what you spent last month total food bill to do this protocol. Oh, come on, Silver Spring. No wonder you're Silver Spring. Look at that. Silver Spring, 21 pounds in a month. Silver on your, oh my God, that would take you 16 months. If you lost, you could, because you need 4 more. Okay, yeah. Oh, see how stupid that stuff is? It's crazy. What? You should get a gold medal for your, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Nah, I don't care about the naysayers. I'm right. Silver Spring, look at her. Which would you choose now, knowing that this is available to you? Which would you choose? God, that's horrible, you guys. She lost 4 months to lose 5 pounds. That's 1.5 pounds a month. But let me prove to you, that's what they're losing on diets. Do you see the misconceptions out there? This is the Journal of the American Medical Association, a 12-month study. Listen to this one. Pay attention, everybody. Okay, Silver Spring. This study, Journal of the American Medical Association, they looked at 48 unique randomized trials, 7,286 people, and they named all the major diets by name. It was 12 months long. It's right here. Paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, fasting, the zone diet, the zone, keto, all the diets. In 12 months, they lost 16 pounds. And of the 16 pounds, 25 to 40% was lean muscle. Silver Spring, that's what you're losing. You're losing lean muscle. That's why you're so weak. Do you understand that's pitiful? That's so pitiful. It's not your fault. It's total nonsense. Someone's coming on arguing, telling me the way to lose weight is macros and calorie counting, and it took you 4 months to lose 5 pounds. And she's losing, look at this. Oh, I just realized, Silver Spring, she's losing 5 pounds a week. She lost in a week what took you 4 months. Do you all see this? Doesn't it make you mad? Doesn't it make you furious that you're being sucked in by this nonsense that people are telling you? and you want to accept it. It's just like the shots, which I'm not against, people, diabetics and obese people. But look at this study, New England Journal of Medicine on semaglutide. I'm just going to read the study for you, and then you make up your own mind. It was a 68-week study. That's a year and 4 months. Okay? The weight loss after 68 weeks was 32 pounds. Of the 32 pounds, this is right in the study, you can read it. Of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle. Do the math. 68 weeks, 32 pounds, that's about a half a pound a week. She lost 5. Look at this, 5 pounds. But let's look at Curtis, everybody. How about 10 pounds a week? Look at that, 10 pounds a week. Is it just me? Am I just crazy? Somebody said they don't like my style. Really? I can't help but getting excited for all of you. Do you understand why I get so crazy when I see people come on and tell me nonsense like macros and calorie counting is the way to lose weight? This poor person did it diligently for 4 months to lose 5 pounds? What, are you kidding me? Are you serious? It's a joke. I mean, it's not a joke. Well, Silver Spring, that's why your program appeals to me. Well, wonderful. And Silver Spring, 2 more things. You get a free coach, and 70% of what you're going to buy is 100% money back guarantee. Silver Spring, where's your risk? Let me ask you this, Silver Spring. How could you not be interested? How could you not be? Right? Am I right? Oh my gosh. Burn Dog. Am I making sense, Burn Dog? Does all this make sense to you? We've got 846 likes. Can we get some more taps, please? I want to get to at least 1,000. Do you all like this content? It doesn't matter if you like me, because obviously there are people complaining to coaches. I don't like that Peter Greenlaw style. Really? Would you rather not have me tell you all the medical proof that whatever diet you're on? Diets are, do you get they're doomed? Look at this, another study. This is not my opinion. The science behind why diets don't work. Listen to this study, everybody. Our researchers reviewed more than 30 long-term studies showing that going on any diet actually causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. What the heck are we doing? Do you get this? This is crazy, isn't it? Put it in the chat. Tell me. I know you all think I'm crazy, but I'm just really passionate. See, one of the things that gets me so upset when I hear this kind of nonsense about someone coming on and telling me about macros and that kind of nonsense. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I loved her very much. I never knew her thin and I never knew her healthy. And 24, 25 years ago, she called me up one day and said, you know, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything to spend one day thin. I said, wow, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mother dieted herself to death. She did about every diet there was, from the grapefruit diet to the cabbage diet. She went to Weight Watchers for her. I see her lose 4 ounces, go to a meeting, come back, they give her a gold star for 4 ounces in a week. Kind of like what our good friend here, Silver Spring's telling us. Yeah, Lisa, you're right. I hope I am right, Lisa. And I would like to know from anybody, doesn't this make you angry? I don't even fault the people that are saying that. That's what they've been told. But you have to understand, when there's no peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, run from it. Run from it. Opinions don't matter. Why would you entrust your health to someone's opinion? I don't want you to believe me. I'm being serious. I don't want you to believe me. We even say, I'm the researcher of the researchers. But doesn't someone have to bring you the evidence? And let you at least see the evidence, and then you can make up your mind? Listen, we're on the cover. I coached these 2 women. The daughter's 57, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom's 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months. They've kept the weight off for 3 years. This is the #1 women's magazine in the world. It's not an ad. You don't get it on the cover of this unless it's legitimate. And they went on. They wrote a big article about it. I'll find it here in just a second. Here it is. Look at this, everybody. Whoops, sorry. Look at that, new protein miracle diet. That's the magazine saying that. That's not me. You think you get on the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world if it's not provable? And why did they? Because this is it's the only, do you get it, everybody? It's the only weight loss diet regimen in the world with 10 peer-reviewed studies. All the studies that are out there weren't even done by the people that, like when you're looking at the Journal of the American Medical Association, it wasn't sponsored by, paleo, keto. They don't want to do those. They don't want to do peer-reviewed human studies. Why? Because they'd be exposed. The claims they're making, you heard what they said in PubMed, unsubstantiated. As of June, this is PubMed. As of June 15, 2025, there are no irrefutable peer-reviewed human trials on PubMed or elsewhere that broadly substantiate the claims of commercial detox products, toxin removal, weight loss, or health So why would you be following them? Wouldn't you rather follow the ones that have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies? I'd love for you to put it in the chat. Burn dog. Oh, thank you very much. You mean about my mom? Yeah. Yeah, I hope none of you ever have to go through that. My mom was only 63 when she died. She was, and God love her. We went through fat shaming. We'd go to the supermarket and the kids would be making fun. She'd come home and be crying. But when she called me up that day, it seems like it was yesterday, even though it was 24 years ago. It's not like she didn't diet. You've got to understand. My mom, I believe she dieted herself to death. I really do. I'd see her lose 20 pounds and gain 25 back. I'd see her lose 25 and gain 30 back. You all, listen, look. A big part of my motivation is I couldn't help my mom, but we could help you. If you want to be helped. I can't, it's like you have to have the motivation. But how simple is it for you to, look, here's the website. Type in the new health conversation. Google, there it is. And there's nothing to buy there. But if you like what you see, scroll down, you get a free coach the whole time. No, the whole time. People say, well, how much is the coach? It's $0. Now, the other thing I didn't share with you yet, also, we help develop the researchers. We developed this to give you an exact mirror of what they did in the medical trials. It's called the Blueprint for Success. Notice all the yellows. Those are actually daily videos from the researchers explaining to you this is safe. You understand the research? They don't sell anything. They don't have any products. They don't make a penny because you're buying from the grocery store and from these other researchers. And they're not getting a kickback from the other researchers. That's not how it works. But why are they doing this? Because they said we spent 40 years of our life finding the solution. We want to give people the opportunity to do exactly what we had the people do in the studies. No guesswork, like the serving sizes, like the timing of when you eat, what's the sequence. It's all laid out. There's no guesswork. It's all free, everybody, free. Only thing you're buying is food. Don't you have to eat next month? Unless you're doing a water fast, I guess. So 30% of what you're going to spend is at your grocery store, and the other 70% goes to these exotic foods around the world. So it may be, you may not spend any more money than you are now. Most people say maybe it's $25 more a week than what they spent, last month. I don't know for sure because I don't know what your food budget is. But keep in mind, everybody, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old who's actually the sister of the lady in the pink who is 80. Her older sister, who was in a nursing home and was on a walker, this was like 3 or 4 months ago, falling down. We put her sister on just part of the program. Within 2 weeks, no walk. She's taken taekwondo lessons now at 91 years of age. This is not a diet. This is about maximizing your quality of life, your health potential for the rest of your life. Why not gracefully age? Like the lady in I don't know if that's purple, pink, whatever color that is. She's 81 years, she's 80. She's on no medications. Oh, by the way, when she started, she couldn't climb up a flight of stairs. Well, she was 90 pounds heavier. Now, she's playing pickleball 3 times a week. She swims 3 times a week and walks up to 4 miles a day. She got her life back. That's what she said. It's not about dieting. It's not about, the weight loss is almost the least important part. No, it's not Silver Spring. Not on our website anyway. You can go and get it at. You can go to Women's World, their website, and I think you can buy it online. I know it's sold out in all the stands. It's been sold out. I mean, it was almost sold out within the first few days because it was such a big news story. Silver Spring. You realize how big the new, when you're, you must know Women's World. It's the #1 women's magazine, more circulation than People magazine, for crying out loud. So that's why this is such a big deal for all of you. Wow, we're at 3,600 likes. So apparently somebody liked it. So Burn Dog, are you cool? Oh, Higgy. Oh my gosh, I just read that. I'm terribly sorry. Oh no. Well, then you can appreciate what I just shared with you. But do you understand Higgy and Burn Dog and Silver Spring and Rosary and anybody else on here? My motivation and why, and I want to apologize. I get so upset when people come on and give me rubbish. Rubbish. And then, ironically, then we have someone, someone's going to tell, oh, the way to lose weight is macros and calories. Really? Where's your medical proof? They don't have any. And then we have someone come on, 5 pounds in 4 months. I mean, I feel sorry for you. You're about to change the rest of your life, Silver Spring. You just wait and watch. Follow your coaches. And all your coaches have done the protocol and they've coached a lot of people. And we coach for free. It's our way of giving back. I don't know if any of you ever saw the movie Pay It Forward, one of my favorite movies. It's like 30 years old, maybe, with Kevin Spacey and this young actor. It's just, that's what we're doing. We're paying it forward. Someone coached us, so we're coaching other people. Because what happens on this, people have such dramatic results that all of a sudden their sister or brother or someone at work says, what in the heck are you doing? And fortunately, there are a lot of volunteers that step up and say, hey, I'll coach my mother, my brother, my sister, whatever it might be. Because they do have benefit of the blueprint, which really answers probably 99% of all the questions that people have as they go through. So you may end up being the cheerleader for the person who you're supporting or not. You don't have to. We're just saying that's an option. So who else would like to ask me a question? Anybody? Nobody? Oh, Higgy, you sent me a heart. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. But I think, we can, unfortunately, I think we can, even though it was, 24 years ago, I still miss her. I don't have to tell you what that's like. I mean, she was wonderful. She lived on the ocean in Maine. She collected seashells. She was a realtor. She became a realtor broker at 50 years of age. But obesity killed her. I'm convinced she dieted herself to death. And I will tell you, to support you, Higgy, understand that eating is an addiction. When you're talking morbidly obese, it's an addiction. And when we know now that Harvard Medical School says that sugar is 6 to 8 times more addictive than cocaine, and what are the food manufacturers putting in our food? Sugar, because it's way cheaper than putting nutrition in there. That's going to change. I hope that's going to change. Oh, One Universe. I'm waiting for my package. Great. Who's your coach, One Universe? I'm just curious. Vic joined. Hi, Vic. So One Universe, who's your coach? Oh, Dan? DA, I think you meant Dan, right? I don't think we have a DA. Maybe that's somebody's initials. I think you meant Dan, One Universe. Am I correct? Need some more water. Good. And I assume you know his story, his life-changing story, right? I mean, I'm sure he'll tell you if he didn't tell you, but it's just he believes this saved his life, and that's what made him become dedicated to become a coach. I can't go I mean, One Universe, you got an ace, you got my top coach. Okay? And yes, you know his story, so you know how powerful it is, right? Great. Oh, he did tell me. Yeah. Well, he gives me way too much credit on that deal. I mean, all I did was point him in the right direction and, et cetera. And thank God it all worked for him out, you know. All right, well, everybody, I'm going to end this live. I got some other things I need to do. I hope it's been helpful. And one last time, all of you go to the New Health Conversation. Oh, Higgy, it's available in Puerto Rico, by the way, just so you know. They definitely ship. So food is culture thing. Well, great. But again, Higgy, if you want to, you know, it's a pretty long food list, so maybe some of the things you're used to eating are on there. I'm not sure, but it's definitely in Puerto Rico. Although it sounds like you're probably in the United States. Is that true? I'm just curious. I'm nosy Nelly. Oh, Burn Dog, you're going to the site. Great. So Higgy Pie, are you in the United States? Oh, you're in Tennessee now. Well, guess what? The lady here, she's from Tennessee. They both are. They live in Florida now, but I wish I could tell you the town. It's so small. Oh, I know. It's the town that Dolly Parton grew up in, if you know what that town is. I forget the name. But that lady, she's from Tennessee. Isn't that cool? And she's 80. She lost 90 pounds in 9 months, Higgy. What do you think about that? Oh, you were born in Puerto Rico. Now you live in Tennessee. Okay, I got it. Isn't that cool, though? These two, she's so funny, the mom, because I coached them, right? And she goes, I would have never believed at my age that I was going to be on the cover of a magazine. Because she's like in this big retirement community in Florida, and she's like a celebrity. Because they all bought the magazine. It's so cool. It's just wonderful. It's just so cool. Yes, yeah. I think that's where she's from. Exactly. That is so wonderful. Well, Higgy, I obviously now even more important, I invite you to go to the website, okay? All right, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody just to let you know I'm probably done for today. Tomorrow, I'll probably come on live at 11:30 Eastern time. So Higgy Pie, that's 11:30 your time because I think you're Eastern Standard Time now in Tennessee. Am I correct? But anyway, I'll be on probably around 11:30, and then I normally try to do them, let's say within every couple hours because, well, this one, like so far, I'm at 1 hour and 6 minutes. So they're anywhere from an hour, sometimes 3 hours, depending on how many people come on and how many people really want to know, about this. Okay. All right. Well, everybody, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you all. Wonderful audience. 4,300 likes. It's wonderful. And you all deserve to have a chance to change the rest of your lives. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years, and that's what I wish for all of you. Okay, everybody? Bye-bye.